The moment security grabbed my arms, reality struck like a hammer to my ribs. Employees who once greeted me with respect averted their eyes. Olivia and Vanessa stood by, watching as I was escorted through the lobby like a criminal. My name had been on every plaque, every document, yet I was nothing to them now. A ghost. Stepping outside, the sun burned against my skin, but the cold weight of betrayal chilled me deeper than any winter wind. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a message from my attorney. They moved fast. Accounts frozen. Stocks transferred. Legal action would take time. Time I didn't have. I stood on the sidewalk, staring up at the glass tower that had once been mine. They stripped me of everything: power, status, identity. My wife. My sister-in-law. My empire. Vanessa had never hidden her disdain. She tolerated me for Olivia's sake, but something in her eyes always carried an edge, an unspoken challenge. I should have seen it. I should have anticipated her move. Yet Olivia, my wife, had been the one to sign the papers. A cab pulled up, but I didn't move. People passed by, unaware that a man who had everything mere hours ago was now a nobody. Betrayal wasn't foreign to me. I had faced deceit in business before, competitors trying to undercut me. But this wasn't business. This was personal. A fire ignited in my chest, searing through the fog of disbelief. If Olivia and Vanessa thought I would disappear, they were mistaken. I refused to be a casualty of their ambition. The night I followed Olivia to the penthouse, a storm raged inside me, each raindrop splattering against my windshield like shards of broken trust. I watched from the darkness as she entered the lobby, swiping a keycard with the ease of someone who had done it 100 times before. Her black dress clung to her body, her heels clicking against the marble floor, every movement deliberate. She wasn't meeting a client. She wasn't working late. Jason arrived minutes later, his tailored suit crisp, his posture relaxed. He didn't look like a man sneaking around. He looked like someone who had already won. My hands clenched into fists as he leaned down, whispering something into Olivia's ear. Her laugh, that laugh, the same one that used to be mine, now belonged to him. They stepped into the elevator together. No hesitation. No guilt. I gripped my phone, snapping pictures, cataloging each moment of their betrayal. If she had simply taken my company, I might have walked away. But this made it war. I spent the next few days gathering evidence, pulling financial records, tracing Vanessa's involvement. What I found made my stomach turn. The stolen contracts, the hidden accounts, everything led back to a single name: Vanessa. She had orchestrated it all. Olivia had been her pawn, and Jason? The final knife in my back. But Vanessa made one fatal mistake. She thought I had nothing left to fight with. She was wrong. Jason shifted uncomfortably in his chair, his usual smug confidence cracking under the weight of the evidence I had placed before him. The dim lighting of the hotel bar did nothing to soften the tension stretching between us. He picked up the envelope, flipping through the damning photographs, the financial records linking him to fraudulent activity, and the hotel transactions proving his affair with Olivia. His throat bobbed as he swallowed hard. "You set me up," he accused, voice tight with forced composure. I smirked, swirling my whiskey. "I didn't set you up. You did this to yourself. I just documented it." He dropped the papers onto the table as if they burned him. "What do you want?" I leaned forward. "Your shares. Your exit. And your silence." Jason's jaw tensed. He was calculating, measuring the cost of fighting back. But the weight of my leverage pressed against him like a steel blade. He exhaled sharply, defeated. "Fine," he muttered, grabbing a pen. The moment he scrawled his signature, transferring his shares back to me, I felt a shift. My power, once stolen, was beginning to return. "One more thing," I said, tucking the documents away. Jason shot me a wary glance. "You're going to disappear," I continued. "If you ever come near Olivia again, I'll make sure the authorities get a copy of this." I tapped the envelope. "And trust me, they'll bury you alive." His lips pressed into a thin line, but he nodded. He knew I wasn't bluffing. With Jason out of the equation, it was time for the real show. The company gala arrived, a grand event meant to showcase Olivia and Vanessa's success. The room buzzed with high-profile investors, media, and corporate executives. The sisters stood at the center, basking in their stolen glory. Olivia wore a dazzling red dress, smiling for the cameras as if she weren't a traitor. Vanessa stood beside her, proud, confident. Then, I stepped onto the stage. Gasps echoed through the hall as the crowd turned to face me. Olivia's smile faltered. Vanessa's expression hardened. "Ladies and gentlemen," I began, my voice carrying through the speakers, "I'm here to correct a few lies." Screens around the ballroom flickered to life. Images appeared, Olivia and Jason in a private suite, financial records linking Vanessa to illegal deals, forged documents stripping me of my rightful place. Olivia's face drained of color. Vanessa's fists clenched at her sides. "You think you can just walk in here and—" Vanessa started, but the murmurs of the crowd drowned her out. Investors exchanged furious whispers. Reporters scribbled notes. The board members who once supported them looked disgusted. "The evidence speaks for itself," I said smoothly. "My wife and her sister stole this company. Lied. Cheated." I turned to Vanessa. "And you thought you could get away with it?" Security entered the room, escorting Vanessa out first. Olivia stumbled back, shaking her head. "This isn't happening," she whispered, voice trembling. I leaned in close, my voice low enough for only her to hear. "You made your choice, Olivia. Now you live with it." The company, the power, the reputation, they were all slipping through her fingers, just as they had slipped through mine. Except this time, I was the one walking away victorious. Vanessa thrashed against the security guards as they dragged her toward the exit, her screams slicing through the ballroom's stunned silence. Olivia stood frozen in place, trembling as cameras flashed, capturing her disgrace. The same woman who had once smirked down at me, who had whispered sweet nothings while scheming behind my back, now stood small, shattered, and powerless. I turned away from her, stepping off the stage as the whispers around the room grew into a storm. Investors murmured amongst themselves, some pulling out their phones to fire off emails, others shaking their heads in disgust. The empire she had stolen was crumbling beneath her feet, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. Outside, the night air was crisp, filled with the distant hum of city life. I loosened my tie, inhaling deeply, feeling lighter than I had in years. A familiar voice called my name. I turned. Olivia stood at the ballroom's entrance, tears streaking her makeup, desperation replacing the arrogance she had worn so proudly. "Please," she whispered. "We can fix this." I let out a quiet laugh, shaking my head. "Fix this?" She stepped closer, her hands trembling. "I made a mistake. Jason, Vanessa, they manipulated me." I tilted my head. "You fired me, froze my accounts, stole everything I built, and slept with my business partner." "But sure, Olivia, you were manipulated." Tears welled in her eyes. "I still love you." I exhaled sharply, looking at her, really looking at her. The woman I once adored, the woman I trusted more than anyone, was nothing but a ghost now. A hollow shell of the person I thought I married. "I don't think you ever loved me," I said, my voice steady. "You loved power. And now that it's gone, you suddenly remember me." I shook my head. "You only miss me because you lost." She reached for me, but I stepped back. "Goodbye, Olivia." Her lips parted, a plea caught in her throat, but I turned and walked away, leaving her standing there, alone, drowning in the wreckage of her own choices. The next morning, headlines exploded with the scandal. Vanessa's fraud, Olivia's affair, Jason's sudden resignation. The company board had no choice but to reinstate me, restoring the very power they had tried to steal. And just like that, I was back. Vanessa disappeared from the business world, her name tarnished beyond repair. Olivia tried to salvage what little dignity she had left, but it was too late. The world saw her for what she truly was. As for me, I didn't just reclaim my throne. I built something greater, stronger. And this time, I made damn sure no one would ever take it from me again.